Jackson, also known as the Spiritual Cheerleader, and I'm coming to you live with your card of the week. This week's card comes from the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson. And the card I picked this week is, and I say it, Shekinah. I've heard it as Shekinah, Shekinah. I've heard it as all different types, but the way I first heard it was Shekinah, so it's Shekinah for me. But it says the presence of the divine feminine, and it says at the center of everything there is light, and I am that light, right? So just to kind of give a little background, the Shekinah is a concept in Jewish, the Talmud and Kabbalah, like Jewish mysticism and the Jewish religion, and it really signifies the glory and presence of God. For those that might be wondering, if we have that whole concept in Christianity, we do, and we typically characterize it as the Holy Spirit, and the Shekinah is basically the presence. It's the presence of God. And in the Jewish tradition, Shekinah is a feminine word. So it represents the feminine presence of God. And, it talks about the Shekinah means to dwell or to settle into a place. And the thing that I most resonated with when I heard that whole idea of dwelling and settling in was the concept in the Old Testament where they had the tabernacle, and when the presence of God was there, it was as if a cloud descended on the tabernacle and just filled the tabernacle, and people would say the presence of God was there. And so that's how I imagine the Shekinah being. Basically this, presence that just settles in and like permeates our entire being. And literally that's the concept that we are embodying this week with this card. This card is telling you that you are light. It's telling you that you have that divine connection with God, that God dwells within you, that you have everything that you need inside of you. So often we look outside of ourselves for answers, for, guidance, for, thinking that we've got to change something externally, when in actuality what needs to be worked on is something internally, and we need to go within. And the card is really telling you, when you go within, that light is there, and you can stoke the fire of that light by continuing to go in each day. And really, using your spiritual practice and making it a spiritual practice to go within every single day, to make that light brighter, to make that connection bigger, because that's what the presence of the Shekinah is. It literally is the presence of God settling and dwelling within you. How amazing is that, right? Just imagining that this beautiful light is just descending upon you and growing within you, permeating all of your cells and your entire being, helping you to shine. And that's something that really resonated for me, given this year, that was my word for the year, was shine. I love the idea and concept of this card of being, I am light, because that is exactly how I feel. I feel like I'm shining. I feel like the light is permeating my being. But I have been literally stoking that fire. I practice daily with stoking that fire. I go within daily in multiple ways, on this, I guess, first month of the year, I know it can be really overwhelming to, see all of these things that have you working on you, right? And there is this sense of urgency that it's got to get done this month. And I don't necessarily believe that is true, that it has to be done this month. I also don't believe that it's true that we all need to fix ourselves. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect in the mind of God. You are beautiful. You were created beautiful. You were created perfect. And really, all that needs to be done is for you to recognize your perfection. Recognize that there is nothing to necessarily fix. It's literally a process of unlearning all the things that you've learned up until now. And, maybe that learning involved you hearing that your body was not the right body, or learning that, you weren't adequate in some area, or learning that you were unloved. None of those things is true. And that's why now you've got to unlearn them. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about unlearning who you think you are to become who you truly are. And that's what the light of Shekinah allows you to do. It allows you to become more you. So I hope that message resonates with some of you this week. I hope that you recognize and realize that you are light. And that you use that affirmation when it feels maybe that you're going through some darkness or troubling times. Recognize and realize and say, I am light, and really root into that thought process and know that the Shekinah is coming in and dwelling, settling. Its presence is settling into you as you say that. And just imagine that for yourself. And literally that will take you out of that negative headspace, take you out of that dark headspace, because you'll realize that the presence of God is dwelling within you. All right, I hope you have a wonderful week this week. I hope you had a great new year. Happy New Year to all of you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.